My problem is the problem of every person of my generation. I need religion. I need to believe in God because life has to have meaning. And yet I couldn't find or accept the theories and institutions of the old creeds. So I've travelled a long journey, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I've gone into politics, economics, and religion, and ultimately I find if there is going to be a God, it can be only one God. So ultimately, Islam became the religion for me because it emphasized the oneness and the unity of God. And Muhammad gave for me a practical attitude towards life. But then the Christ figure became for me immense, because a man can't live in terms of politics only. He has to live in emotional relationships with his fellows. This means love. And Christ is the outstanding feature of love, that catalyst, which means change in society. I like Australia, and above all, I like Sydney. And I came to the Wayside Chapel because the Wayside Chapel is an oasis. It's an oasis which allowed me to expand, to contact people, to express myself. Because this, which is the creation of Ted Noffs, didn't ask me what religion I was, what sect I belonged to. And I found up there I was in the company of Jews, Christians, Muslims. I was in the company of druggies, and I was in the company of the virtuous. I found a whole motley throng of people, all looking, all seeking, all trying to find expression. Therefore, I'm very thankful to the Wayside Chapel because I feel that here is a point where a man can not only seek but find. And he can find what God means, not merely to the individual, but to the community as a whole. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. The point is that people say Webster is. And when they say Webster is, they identify themselves with me in terms what they would like me to be. The great mass of the people live their lives by proxy. But the fact remains that I'm interested only in individuals because I am an individual. And I'm much more interested in the creation of personalities, not to persuade them to become something other than what they should be themselves. This is why I'm Webster.
But you cannot define the children of the victims of the Afro experience.
I'm willing to help children. This collection from Biafra is not to help children. It's to help a political trick which is going on.
Well, Darcy Dugan is involved as an assistant to our social workers. He also helps in the coffee house, helps direct the coffee house program.
Yes, and what's your name, dear?
G. Lemming.
Yes. And your address?
47 Angela Road, DY.
How old are you, Judy?
I'm 17.
And what's your name, dear?
Belinda Tebbett.
And your address?
147 North Atlantic Drive, Avalon.
How old are you, Belinda?
17.
When were you born?
The 13th of the 4th, 1951.
All right, you girls want accommodation and work.
Yes, we're talking to you up in the coffee shop about this Gwen Martin.
Well, look, Gwen's not a bad kid. I've known her for some time. She comes up here quite a bit. I don't want to knock her. I don't want to knock anybody, but she's not reliable. She's been here before, and we've got her quite a few jobs. She's been here with other girls too, and she's got flatheads with them. Well, Gwen usually holds a job about 1 week, and then she's out of work again. And then whoever she's with has to carry her. Now, if you take Gwen with you, now I don't like saying this. I'm not against Gwen. She's not a bad kid in some ways, but we're different types. To me, at any rate, you don't appear to be Gwen's type. I think you do better if you've got a place of your own.
Oh, well, she's the one who sort of got us to meet you and everything, and it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be getting it.
Oh, yes, but then again, Gwen she wanted to get a flat with you, doesn't she? She was helping herself at the same time, too. Now, look, you're two mates. You come from the same area, you're pals, you know one another, you can trust one another, and you do much better on your own. You take my word for it.
Well, I'm one of those fellas. I've been in a lot of trouble in my life. I was an uncontrollable child. I was in boys' homes. Later on, I was in prison camps. I served long terms in jails. I served a life sentence. I did a life sentence in 18 years. I received that for my part in an attempted bank hold-up, during which a man was shot and wounded. Of course, all this particular aspect of my life, it's in the past. It's behind me. Here I am at the chapel. I'm now a social worker, or not a social worker, that's a degree. I'm a welfare worker or a social counsellor. I refer what I consider the right cases onto the right people. When I first came here, it was just a job. I was prepared to give it a go, sort of thing. I'll try anything once. It's still a job, but it's more than just a job. The Wayside Chapel is run by the Reverend Ted Noffs. He's the boss, and he's a Methodist minister. And primarily, it's a redemptive organisation, although religion isn't jammed down anybody's throat by Ted or anyone else up here. My view is that I haven't anything to prove a belief in a supreme being. There may be one, I don't know. I suppose you'd call me an agnostic. I don't know. Well, yes, there is meaning in life. The same meaning there is in everyone. It's a matter of degree, of course. I'm a hedonist. Oh, well, I like the society of women, I think, more than anything else. I like to talk with them, to walk with them, to dance with them, to have a drink with them, to watch a show with them. I like to drive a car. I like to dress well. I like to have a bet at the races. I'm a pretty normal sort of a bloke. Look, I think you're old enough to know what you're doing, and I'm not going to tell your parents or get in touch with them without your permission. Like what you told me here is in confidence, but I do think that you ought to at least write your mother, and in your case, maybe your father, a letter, let them know exactly what you're doing, at least stop them worrying, no matter what you feel about it. Okay?
Yes, all right. Yes, I'll write to my mother. Mm-hmm.
Yes, promise.
Yes.
Good.
You're right, Cluster. Ding, ding, ding. Take no notice of any strange sounds you might hear, for we'll be going into a bleak rest. I see a bird, a beautiful rainbow bird. What does all that mean? Which in a rainbow? Take your eyes, Cluster. Little fears all be clear, dear. That's a little really clear when she says this.
Go and fetch me 6 pieces of gold, 2 pieces of cloth, and 2 feathers. Bring them to me as quickly as possible. We will fetch them immediately, Your Majesty. Now, like the king in the fairy tale, I'm going to give you each 3 pieces of gold, a piece of cloth, and a feather. You are to do whatever you wish with these 3 items. At the end of 3 days,
There's quite a few here today, aren't there? There's no way of living whatsoever because it's infuriating.
Hello there. Come on, be seated there. Peter, thanks for coming down from upstairs. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Well, I was just a bit concerned about the baby and how the baby was getting on, and that led me back to then sort of think how you were getting on. What's your friend's name?
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Nancy.
Hello, Nancy. Nice to meet you. Well, now, are you married?
No.
Are you intending to be married at all?
No.
No intention. What about the baby? Who's going to look after the baby?
Oh, we're looking after him.
You're going out to work, are you?
No, right at the moment, he's a student.
I see.
And I stay to look after the baby. We manage it financially through government grants, etc.
I see. So it's just a matter of going on the way things are going. You know,
Until the end of the year.
yeah.
Well, look, all I'd like to say is this, that the chapel's here, and if there's anything that we can do, if there's any strife with the baby, sometimes things get out of hand, as a little bit of difficulty arises, well, we'll be here to do what we can. But, for example, somebody mentioned something about drugs. Have you had any problems at all there?
Well, it doesn't seem to come to us.
No.
No problem.
You've been involved with drugs, have you?
Oh, yes, but...
Yes, but you're over that now.
Oh, not over it. Not something you get over when you come to it.
You don't think that involvement with drugs would affect your, for example, it's a different thing now that you've got the baby. Now, when you were on your own, there may have been some reason why you could have experimented or been involved with drugs, but don't you think there'd be some problems with the baby?
Well, what sort of problems?
Well, I'm thinking, for example, if you both got high one night.
Oh, no, we arrange things such that the baby isn't adversely affected, by what we do as far as drugs are concerned.
How do you arrange that?
Well, if we're going to go out at any time at all, even if he's going to the pictures or anywhere at all, we can't take the baby. We've got a number of friends to look after.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yes, we make sure that they're, the kind of people that we trust and would like to look after the baby. I mean, we wouldn't sacrifice the baby's welfare, for drugs or for anything.